Hello, welcome to a lesson on using DHCP to give out IP addresses using a Cisco router. For this lesson, I'm just going to set up a small network to demonstrate. So I'm going to take a 1941 router, a 2960 switch, and we'll just take two computers over. And we'll connect those up. We can probably use straight through cables in this instance. So keeping the router configured, the switch configured neatly, and put them into ports 1 and 2. And then I'm going to put another straight through cable from gigabit Ethernet 1 on the switch to, we'll use gigabit Ethernet 00 on the router. So now that we've got the network set up, I'm going to need to give this a 192.168.1.1 IP address on, and that will be on F00. So going into the router, command line interface, I'm going to click no, and then we can start our configuration. So enable and conf-t to get me elevated privileges, and then I'm going to type in interface gig, and then I'll press tab Ethernet to get my gigabit Ethernet 0/0, and then I'm in the interface, and I will be type in IP address 192.168.1.1 and the subnet mask 255.0, and then I'll hit enter and type no shut or no shutdown, and that will turn the port on, and as you can see it's gone green. So that's the main part of this done. We need to give it a few minutes just to make sure that this goes red, otherwise I'll have to use a crossover cable. So I'll exit out of that interface, and the next thing I'll need to do is type in service DHCP, and you'll see once I do that, it's enabled the services to start, and then I'll put in it's up to you really the order we can do this. I'll put the excluded address in first to avoid any confusion. So I'll type in IP DHCP excluded dash address, and then I'll put 192.168.1.1. I don't need to put subnet masks in, but if I want to, I can put in 192.168.1.10. so it's excluded between 1 and 10. So if this works properly, then I'll end up with, hopefully, the first IP address on DHCP will be number 11. So then I'm going to need to make a pool. So that's IP DHCP pool, and then you give it the name of the pool. So that could be pool 1. I'm just going to call it main. This part is whatever you want to call the pool. I'll change it. It could well be the HR pool. Then I'll type in the network, so that it'll be network 192.168.1.0. That's the network we're going to be using, and I'll have to put in 255.255.255.0, and you see when I typed in IP DHCP pool, HR pool in this case, it's come up DHCP config. So I'm now configuring the config. If I'd left out this particular step until later, what would have happened is I would have had conflicts for a short while until I put my pool in. So that's the network we're working on, the 192.168.0 network. And now I need to put in the default router. So I'll put in default dash router, and we put the IP address in 192.168.1.1. So that's the name, the IP address of this router. And I can put a DNS server in, DNS dash server, and it could be this, so we could want to use a 8.8.8.8, or it could equally said use a DNS server. This router is the DNS server, so I click enter, and we're done. So if I do show run, you'll see our current config all comes up, and then this instance we've got IP, DHCP pool, HR pool, and then there's the network, and there's the default router, and that's the DNS server we put in, and you'll see that I got the excluded addresses in there. So that's all we've done on the particular one. So now comes the time to test it. So if I go to PC1 and I go to the desktop, IP configuration is currently set to static. So if I do DHCP, it should find one. So it's 11, and this one should go to 12. And DHCP request successful. So they've now picked up the correct IP addresses. So that's pretty much how you do these things. If you want to change something, you can go on the router, and we could type in. We're still in. So if I exit out of this, if I want to go back into it, I go IP DHCP pool, and I did HR pool. So now I'm in the config. I could type in DNS-server 192.168.1.1 in this particular case. So now if I open up these and I go to, if I currently do IP config /all, you'll see it's got DNS 8.8.8.8 in. If I want to change that, I do IP config /release, and that releases it, and then renew will get it to go to the, will get the PC to go to the server and renew its address. And this time you'll see that the address has changed to 192.168.1.1, which I just changed it to. It was 8.8.8. The same again on this one. So IP config /all, and you can see it's got 8.8 in. If I do IP config /release, it's gone. Type in renew, and that 8.8 should become 1.1. So that's and it says DHCP server there. So that's pretty much it for configuring the router to do what you wanted to do. If at the end of it you want to delete it, you can type in no IP DHCP pool HR pool, and it will have deleted it then. So if I was to do show run, you'll see that there's no DHCP pool running now. It's gone. It's got DHCP excluded address, but the rest of it is not there. So that's how you delete it all when you're finished, or if you need it, if you made a mistake, you wanted to start again. So I think that whole exercise was service DHCP, IP DHCP excluded address, give it a pool name, give it a network, the network that it's working on, default router and DNS server. So it's only 6 lines to do that, so it's a pretty easy exercise. So I hope you found this short tutorial useful, and I'll see you at the next lesson. Thank you.